Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 7th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, let's see. For some reason, the settings are not working here. So let me go and try to do this manually. All right, let me get this through real quick. Good. Good. A few more things here. One last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, looks good. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Start off with up here, 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 there, 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 and there. Going over to our 8-hour time frame. Mark up liquidity there, there. Going down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 7th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. I've just marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity down below is going to be at 39,009, and the closest level above is going to be at 39,082. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity. We'll go over here to our clean chart and mark up 6:30, 8 o'clock. I'm going to go up to the 4-hour time frame. Identify structure here. So pretty much the same structure from the past couple of weeks. These upper levels have not gotten hit yet. So we'll see if they finally push out here. The ATR is pretty low right now, so I don't think it's going to really push that far today specifically, but we never know, right? Price might push like at random. There's just not very much news today, so there's not much catalyst, and I'm not expecting a crazy amount of movement today, but we'll see. If market moves like it did yesterday, we'll probably get an initial push, a slowdown, and then a pickup later in the session. So there goes the clean chart. There's no nearby structure. Come back to that later. Going over here to our main chart, looking at the news from today. We had news at 5:55 and 6 o'clock. And we have more news at 7 and 7:30. Just low impact news here, 5:55 and 6 o'clock. So this big candle over here is the 6 o'clock news, of course. And then 5:55 red book over here. All right, we got that there. And then we have news at 7:30. So we got medium impact news at 7, economic optimism. And then we have low impact news at 7:30. And then we have Fed Kashkari speaking at 8:30 today, later today, after the session. So hopefully we get some movement here during our session. ATR is currently at 7 right now, so it's pretty low. But it's pretty normal for pre-market. We'll see how it picks up right now when the market opens up in a few seconds. So we got the opening candle right here. We got this huge movement, just like I said. And the ATR is starting to pick up. So ATR is currently at 9 now. It was at 7 a few seconds ago. It's now at 9. It's probably going to pick up to 12, up to 15, and then we'll go from there. So we'll let this market kind of stabilize a little bit. Once it stabilizes, we'll look for some solid entries here. But as of now, price is dumping super heavily right now. ATR is back to 11. And it'll keep pushing up from there. So, I mean, it's the same gig every day. If you guys have been following, you guys have seen this. It's nothing new here. The market kind of moves kind of crazy on open, and then it just flattens out. So I'm going to wait for it to flatten out a little bit before I start looking for anything here. If anything, the breakout V3 might be coming up soon. So we have a double body rejection right here. We have a sell signal, which is currently pending. So if this closes with the sell signal and it's followed by a red candle, which the sell signal did close, if this red candle over here closes, this is going to be the breakout V3. Obviously not one I would recommend taking, but nonetheless, breakout V3. So the first level of liquidity right here got hit. I personally wouldn't have taken it because you guys can see how big this candle is. Obviously, it's due for some retracement, and it is doing that right now. So it's just a big whipsaw, which it's nothing new. This is literally what happens every day, or what's been happening lately every day. So we have a huge whipsaw open. It establishes a high or low, depending on where it whipsaws, and then it comes back and then it ends up retracing towards the middle of the movement, and then it just kind of consolidates from there. So there's nothing new here. You can see how price opened very heavily. This red candle here with the sell signal dumped super heavy to the bottom here, about 50, 60 points. Not a crazy move. It looks like a crazy move here because it's a lot bigger than all of the previous candles, but you know, it's not like a 100-point candle. It's a 50 to 60-point candle, which is still big, but when comparing it to like some other crazy moves we've had in the past, I would consider it, you know, maybe from a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably call this like maybe a 6 or a 7. We've seen some crazy movements in the past, like, you know, over 1,000 over 1,000 pips, like 100 points, maybe even 200 points in some instances. Right here, I think this is like, it's a big spike, but it just looks exaggerated because of all of the previous small candles before it. The thing with this, though, is that this, I mean, it's pretty much dumped, and there wasn't really much news this morning. And we did have red book or used car prices, but nothing really too crazy here. So there we go with the correction back up. The price will probably correct. If it does push back up, it's going to push back up to opening price here, which is pretty much going to fill this red candle, basically the gap here on open. Looks like that's going to be the case. So there's no breakout V3 here. The red candle never closed. Price is swinging back up. The breakout V3 might be for a buy here. There's another double body rejection down here, and price is now swinging right back up. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 66% short. So this indicates that 66% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals are pretty much right down the middle. And you can see over here at 632, it said Dow rises for the 5th day as Wall Street awaits more Fed clues. And you might see price come back down after that. So I'll mark up structure down here. So we got the support level down there now. Once this higher high gets established, I'll mark up the higher high. So again, like I said, there's a double body rejection right here. So if you get a green candle here, this could be the breakout V3. Otherwise, price looks like it's ranging. It's doing exactly what we just talked about. It's doing what it did for the past couple of weeks now. It makes this big move on open, and then it goes back into this heavy range. Huge whipsaw movement as it creates the range here. Another whipsaw. So there's whipsaws in both directions here. You can see this market open here with this big red candle, spike down, whipsaw from down here, right back up. And then again, it faked out right here, whipsaw right back down. So this is pretty much, I mean, it looks like this might be the range. Personally, I would prefer it to continue climbing up higher. There's no breakout V3 there, as you guys can see. The PRB is setting up though. So looking at this over here, you can see this red candle rejected off the pivots. So this is now starting to set for a possible PRB entry. However, there's just nothing here for us to take. So it's got to sit tight again for a little bit longer. Wait for something here to establish. And then we will start looking for possible opportunities here for entry. Hey, Brock, morning. Yeah, and also it's Trap Tuesday. Thanks, Maria, for mentioning that. Trap Tuesday today. See, Drew said smack the pre-market buyers. Yeah, exactly. Smack the pre-market buyers and then smack the people who are chasing the correction here. They're now coming right back down. Let's see, Madhu's asking, would you consider taking the second touch of liquidity below? Possibly. So I would have to look at it like when price actually gets down to that point, Madhu. I wouldn't necessarily, like if you get a big candle again that pushes down to there, I wouldn't take it. But if you get a small, like a smooth move down here, maybe a possible range, and then kind of sits around here and then it touches, then yeah, possibly I'd take something like that. I just wouldn't take it if it goes straight down again, because you can see that price is just whipsawing back and forth. Like it whipsawed from this lower level and it whipsawed from this upper level, right? I wouldn't take those. I would take the ones that are like smoothly touching, like it's coming down, like it could be staircasing down. And then maybe even like fake out a little bit, come back, and then come back down like that. Like something like that I would take. The other thing as well is maybe look for the third touch, right? Because that's kind of what people look for a lot of times now. A lot of times the first one's going to be a fake out. Second time is going to be pretty smooth. And the third time is usually, if it touches the third time, it's usually going to for sure go through. Because it's basically trapping people to chase it, let go their position or get stopped out, and then refill it earlier, or reinforce the move to the downside. There's just a lot of red flags around this area, so I don't really care to trade in this middle area right here. Preferably, I wait for it to break outside of it. So if it climbs back up, then great. I'll look for some buys up here. If it climbs down, that's great too. I'll take some trades down here. But I'm not going to trade anywhere around this middle area. All right, so we got no PRB here yet. The trend here is still bullish. So I mean, I would just give it some time. Looking over here at let's take a look at the overall picture. Everything looks bullish here, so I think price will likely continue pushing up. You can see over here on the 10-minute, we're having a huge rejection off the pivot. So I think price will continue climbing up. For me personally, I think so. As you guys can see, there's a huge rejection over here on pretty much all the time frames. The 30-minute, big rejection off the bottom. 1 hour rejection off the bottom, and the 10-minute over here is a huge rejection off the bottom as well. So I think price will continue to manipulate to the downside. I think eventually it will climb back up. So, I mean, if price keeps dumping to the downside, just look out for the correction back up. So if this candle rejects off the pivot, this could be a possible PRB entry. We had the rejection here, rejection here. These are space consolidation candles. If we get like a big scoop back up, then this could be a possible entry for a buy. It's not looking like it now because it's not dumping back down. Yeah, it's not going to close. So there's no PRB there, at least not yet. However, the trend here is still bullish. So the trend hasn't shifted yet. It's still bullish right now. All right, price is swinging back up. We have the structure pretty much established now. So let me mark up structure over here. So this is the range. There we go. It's a pretty messy range, but nonetheless, this is the range for today. Nothing new here. Same range as every other day. All right, so we got price up here again. The PRB could be setting up. So look for that bottom wick rejection off the pivots here. If that bottom wick rejection happens, that's going to be the PRB entry. This here could be a momentum divergence as well. I'm not going to take it because it is touching opening price, but this is a momentum divergence setup. You can see there's a buy signal right here. Price broke and closed past the pivots. The divergence here was shifted. You can see the divergence here shifted down to bearish, and then now it's shifting right back up to bullish. So this right here could be a momentum divergence. It's not one I'm going to personally take because, again, like I said, it's touching the opening price, which is a red flag for me. Not going to mess with it. But it looks like this could play through. So, I mean, we'll follow it. But I'm not going to take anything here risky. I'm still going to follow my criteria. And there goes the momentum divergence. Looks like it already hit TP. It's about to. Not in this position, guys. There you go, full TP right there. Would have been nice, but you know, again, like I said, I'm still following my criteria, guys. I'm not gonna just because like I'm not gonna get FOMO on these trades here, which you guys can see right there. That was the entry that I would have looked for if you know, if this would have been the case. So other than that, we will continue to look for any other opportunities here. This might be the PRB entry if it rejects off the pivot. So there's no rejection off the pivot yet. The PRB still is not active. You can see there's a rejection off the pit off this red candle right here, space consolidation on this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. Now you're looking for price to come down, reject off the pivot, swing right back up. It's not there yet, but you know, once it does, that's going to be the setup. Price is pushing back up to retest the upper level of liquidity over here for the second touch. Not there yet, but pushing up. Currently at the 1 minute resistance, as you guys can see right here, the upper level of the range, rejecting directly off it. So I'm kind of looking at this here to see if there is going to be a high-low scalp that could possibly be setting up. What I would like to see here is possibly a retracement. So I'd like to see the momentum divergence kind of retrace down and then swing back up. Because if it swings down and then swings back up, then I'll be a little bit more comfortable taking like a high-low scalp. If we get a high-low scalp right here by itself, I'm probably not going to take it because the divergence already happened, right? I would like to see some sort of confluence here. The confluence here isn't strong enough for me to take it because what I'm worried about is that price will push up and it'll fake out here. So this is what you want to be careful for. There's going to be a high-low scalp that could happen above this area right here. But what you don't want to get caught in is a fake out. You don't want price to push up, close above there, break and retest, fake out right there and come right back into the range for like an M pattern, right? So you don't want to get caught in that. So price is retracing down right here. This is a good sign. This is kind of what I was looking for. I wouldn't mind for price to kind of retrace down a little bit and then shift and then come back up, unless we have some other confluences here. However, it looks like the volatility here is getting slow again, and it's just going to sit within this range. This candle right here is attempting to touch the pivot. It's not there yet, but it is starting to touch it a little bit. So this could be setting up for the PRV entry. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. All right, we got price coming back below opening price over here. Pretty much correcting back down off the resistance. Basically a double top rejection off of the resistance there as it pushes right back into the range. So I'm okay with trading within the range here, guys. Okay, so here's the PRB. The PRB actually did reject off this lower pivot right here. So this is technically the PRB entry right now. It's currently running. I'll come back and take a look at that later, but it is currently running right now. Perfect. We also got the sell signal right here too. So it kind of lined up. It lined up with what we were looking for here, or what I was looking for personally. So you can see right here we have the PRB currently running in profit. Not in that position, of course. So now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to push up and provide a possible buy signal. If it pushes up and provide the buy signal, we can possibly get a triple confluence to the upside. That's something that I would personally be interested in maybe taking. Right. So there's kind of like, there's two levels up here actually right there. Two levels right there. But again, there's not really too much going on. It's just a bunch of back and forth movement here. Once we get new structure that's established, I'll mark it up. Currently right now, we don't really have anything. There's a higher low right here, but we need a new high before we can start looking for a new lower low. So like what we'll look for here is we'll look for price to push up, establish a new high, and then let it come back down. And then it'll establish a lower low from here. We'd establish a new support. And then if it pushes back up here, it'll retest the resistance point. But as of now, you guys can see price is pretty much just going sideways within the range. So not too much going on here. Looks like we might be getting a buy signal soon. I'm fine with the buy signal closing. If we get a breakout V3 continuation, I'll take that as well. So we'll see if price pushes up a little higher. It's gonna have to push up here for it to close with that buy signal. If not, that's completely fine as well. It's probably gonna come back down, touch the opening price here, and attempt to get a push up higher. All right, so we got another candle here. So I don't know if the candle will close strong enough. You can see here that it's trying to push up, but it's not really having much power. It pushes up, then it kind of just weakens out, and then it fizzles out right there. So pushed up on these two candles, provided a buy signal that was pending. Then it just fizzled out, pulled back into the opening price right here. It looks like the opening price is acting as a magnet. You can see how price kind of pushes away, pulls back to the opening price, pushes below, pulls back to the opening price. So it seems like there's a range right here, a new range that just keeps pulling price back to opening price right there, of course. I mean, if we get a shift to the downside, that's completely fine as well. But there's not really too much going on here. So price finally broke below this higher low. So you can see there's a pending lower low here. Once this lower low gets established, we can mark this up as structure and we can identify the closer range. It's not there yet, but that is what we'll be looking for when it comes time. So it's got to sit tight again. Seems like this is going to be another day where we just got to wait for the opportunity to come. Another reminder, guys, we have news over here at 7 o'clock. It's medium impact. So 650, or it's about to be 650. If it gets too close to like 655, we might have to wait a little bit for news and then see how market reacts to it. It's not high impact, but it is medium impact. So it might affect the market, it might not. But of course, we want to see how the market reacts to it. All right, we got price pushing back up over here. The PRV is still running. It's been running for a while now. Actually, already hit TP. So it looks like the PRV already hit TP right here on this big push up off this candle right here. Or technically, I don't know if it actually would have hit, but it looks like it technically could have. Or maybe it'll hit again right here. So we have the pending buy signal here. Probably wouldn't take it off the buy signal, but maybe off the following. If we get a breakout B3 continuation. But again, we would want this buy signal here to close. That's going to be the catalyst for us here. Again, it's having trouble getting past the opening price. Every time price push it or touches the opening price, you can see how it has trouble getting further from there. So there's no buy signal there yet. Just again, still pending. So if it pushes up, like what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for it to really push up past these levels or these levels right here. Because if it does, you can get a possible triple confluence if that becomes the case. It looks like volatility is picking up here slightly. So I will be looking at it. I won't take it as a pivot scalp, maybe as a break triple confluence. So if it closes above here with the buy signal, I'll be okay with maybe taking it. It's got to be pretty clear though. I can't like it can't be like shifting up and down at the last second. Like it's got to be pretty clear that it's going to close above this level here. Because this will be a triple confluence if it does. It's not looking like it. Nope. So nothing there. Again, here, another possibility, but you got to make sure that the candle closes. Like it can't be iffy. So at this point, I would need it to close past the second level up here. It'd have to push up even higher. Like I wouldn't take anything in between here. It'd have to be up here, a bit higher. As you guys can see here, how the candles are moving a little blocky. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle. Again, I'll be watching it. If it closes past this second level up here, then I'll take it for a triple confluence. If not, then I'm going to hold off and wait for another opportunity here. So I'm watching it right here. It's going to close in about 5 seconds. No entry. So the buy signal didn't close there, guys, unfortunately. If it closed, I would have taken it, but it didn't. So there's no triple confluence there. Again, I'm going to sit tight. I'm just going to wait. Liquidity just got hit right there. Full TP for the, looks like the third touch. Yeah. Third touch right there for liquidity. So if you waited for that third touch, looks like it would have hit. Or eventually, if you waited for the second touch here, it still would have hit as well. I'm not going to take any trades here, guys. I'm going to wait for the news to pass. And this buy signal is not closing anyway, so there's no entries here. All right, 6:55. We got about 7 minutes till news. It's getting a little too close to news over here. So the thing that you want to look out for here and be careful for is the fake out, of course, right? So I mentioned over here, price is now above the resistance level. You want to look out, make sure you don't get caught in the fake out. Here's a new structure down there. As you guys can see, this is the new range. So the wide range is this whole area right here. And then we have the smaller range within it right here. Price is climbing up. Unfortunately, didn't meet my criteria there. The buy signal still hasn't closed. We got news coming up in about 6 minutes. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. It's a little too high, and it's, I'm worried for that fake out that's going to come back down. Also, because the pending buy signal was pending for like 10 minutes now. So you can see that the buy signal was actually pending on this candle, this candle, this candle, and it just kept pending. And still till now, it's still pending. It hasn't even closed yet. If there was really enough power behind this push to the upside, like enough consistent power, the buy signal would have closed already. You can see that it's trying to push up, but as soon as it gets up, it just gets knocked right back down. So that's just telling you that there's some sort of resistance up here, not an actual resistance, but there's some sort of orders back here that are holding it from pushing up higher. So it tries to push up. As soon as it pushes up, it gets knocked down. Pushes up, gets knocked down. Pushes up, gets knocked down. So there's no established resistance up here, but you can tell that there's orders up here that's stopping price from pushing up higher. And that's why you want to be careful here with chasing this, because this is setting up for a fake out. Like I said earlier, price is going to sit within this range, and you can see the fake out down below right here, and you can see the fake out up here as well. The fake out's going to happen. It's just a matter of time until it does. So this is the actual range. Price comes down, fakes out. Ranges again, pushes up, fakes out, comes back into the range, etc. So I think right now, like during these types of market conditions, I think the key thing is to be able to identify the fake outs. That's really what you want to be careful for. It's not really looking for the ideal entry. It's looking for the fake outs to avoid. Because you can lock in lucky trades here. Like, for example, you could have taken a bunch of buys here. There's no high-low scalps, but you could have taken buys as price climbed up, and you could have gotten lucky with a couple entries. However, once you get caught in that fake out, it's going to wipe out all your profits. So just be careful with your entries here. And then we also have news coming up right here in about 4 minutes. So I think price will probably pull back down to opening price. That's likely where it's going to push down to. But again, I'm going to be identifying and eyeing for these fake outs. So there goes the fake out right there. The fake out we anticipated. And we kind of, expected it because we already had the zones here marked up. So we have a new higher high up there. I'll mark that up later. I don't think it's really necessary right now because it's going to be used to identify, we'll just look at it as a fake out point instead of actual resistance. And then if price comes back up there and touches it, so for example, if price ends up ranging within this area, then okay, in that situation, I'll mark up the structure because then this will just be the new range. But we do have news coming up right here in about 3 minutes, and I'm kind of curious to see what will happen next. Yeah, juicy. Yeah, scared for that one huge 40-point candle. Yeah, exactly. That's typically what it will happen. If it climbs up like that, it just fills, goes right back down. You get that huge candle that pretty much wipes out all the buyers here. And also still no buy signal. So you guys can see this is pretty tricky right here where it's kind of sitting because there's still no buy signal. It's been, that buy signal was pending for about 10 minutes now. It came up, disappeared, came up, disappeared. Pretty much every green candle here that came up it had the buy signal, right? And then it disappeared. So let's see, the news over here at 7 o'clock is economic optimism, I believe. Okay, so we have RCM, TIPP, economic optimism. It's forecasted to be positive, so we'll see how this comes out. It's going to come out in about a minute here. CNBC hasn't reported anything lately today. Fundamentals are pretty much neutral for the most part. Retail sentiment, there's a lot of people on the sell side, so I think price will probably keep climbing. 67% short. So for me personally, I would personally like to take a buy. So I would want to take a buy. It's just, the setups here haven't came up yet. And of course, I'm not going to force any entries here. I'm not going to let this type of market kind of get the best of me. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, right? You guys start to get FOMO once you start looking for entries and the entries aren't actually there. You start to just take random entries. And yeah, you're going to get lucky here and there, but eventually once you make a mistake, it's gonna hurt because you would have known that, or you should have known that there was no entry there. So we have the news candle in about 30 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Brock's a cat and mouse game with the market. It's really what it is. It's cat and mouse within the range over here. So price is pulling back into the original range. So I'm not going to mark up structure up here just yet. I'll mark up structure once it's, once it establishes it as an actual resistance. Hey, Lori. Nice. Yeah, she said, hey, FOMO brought me here after a friend recommended me to check out Kodi Kai. Yeah, we trade a little differently here. A lot of other groups, they try to look for entries. They're looking for like those home run entries. For us here, we're more on the conservative side. So I'll mark up entries and I'll tell you guys where entries are coming up, but I'm not going to take all of them, right? I'm going to take like maybe one or two of the quality entries. My main goal here is to identify when not to trade. Not necessarily when to trade, but when not to trade. Because you can take trades in a lot of places. There's no one way to trade. There's no one strategy. There's a ton of strategies you can apply. But I think if you start to understand the concept of knowing when not to trade, it's going to help a lot. It's going to bring a lot of consistency, and it'll help you. It'll help you avoid a lot of losses that you've been taking, and then the consistency will just automatically show up over time. So we got news right here, guys. I'm going to go and mark this up. There goes news. I'm taking off the news marker right there. Let's see how price reacts to it. The news for today was, it's not loaded yet, almost. Lorraine said you're trading YM. Yeah, I'm trading YM. You can see on the chart, it says YM right here. So it'll show right here in the middle whenever I pull up any of my charts, what I'm trading right there. Yeah, no, I think it's been rough for a lot of people, Lauren. It's not just you. It's been rough for a lot of people. A lot of people are just, they don't want to admit it, but the market's been ranging for the past couple of months. For the past 3 months, market's been in a range almost every day. Either people don't want to admit it or they don't see it. You can see it here pretty clearly on my clean chart because I pretty much mark up this clean chart every day. And you can see where the range is actually happening. The range is happening right here down the middle. There's a big range within this whole area, but the current range right now where price is sitting is within these two zones right here. And you can see the fake outs, and I'm pretty sure you could assume where people got stopped out right up here. People are chasing the buys up here, got stopped out as it pulled back into the range. And same with down here, price pulled below here, faked out, pulled back into the range. So it stopped out sellers right here, and then it stopped out buyers right here. So what we're looking for is we're just looking for that inconsistency with the back and forth so that we can find entry here for our trades. Looking at this here, guys, let's take a look at the news. So the news still hasn't loaded. I'm assuming the news was negative. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it was negative or positive. The market reacts to the news however it likes, right? So let's pull up CNBC real quick. There's no update from CNBC. Yeah, I'm surprised the news is taking that long to update over here. I mean, either way, we'll start looking for some more movements here. Yeah, Patricia said market sucks. Agree. 100%. Market sucks, but it's fine. Whatever the market does, we'll find our edge in the market. I mean, we still have our edge here. It's just really fine tuning and funnel into trades. Because our edge is still there. You just have to be patient to wait for that entry to come to you. But the market does suck overall. I know I'm used to, we're used to seeing like, 4 or 5, 10 entries on some days come up. Lately, it's been like 1 or 2, maybe 3. And again, it's just like a big waiting game. All right, so we have a possible buy signal here coming up, guys. Let's see if it actually closes. So the buy signal finally closed right here. This took almost like 20 minutes for it to close. If it closes with a green candle here, this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation. We'll see. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle, so it's a lot of time. It's probably going to come back and touch open the news price. Yeah. So I wouldn't even take this if it pushes back up. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said no power behind it. No power at all. So I'll continue watching this here. I was hoping it would push up a little more because I wanted to push up, come back down for the retracement, and then swing back up so that we can get the momentum divergence. But the divergence here isn't going to be very clean because it's going to pull back into these red flags, which is not where we want it to be. So again, we'll just have to wait. Yeah, exactly. Nick said, good on us, fake out avoided. So price again, just faked out above here. I mean, it's doing the same thing that I just mentioned. So look out for the fake outs past the resistance level right here. Price pushes up, fakes out. Again, right here, price pushed up, faked out. Pulled back into the range down here. The problem with this here is that we can't even trade within the range because the sessions and stuff right there, right? We have the opening price, we have the sessions down here. We can't even trade down this area. So we really just need price to break out of this range. The problem with the breakout towards the upside is that we can get faked out. But we'll see. Eventually, it's going to break out and it's going to continue climbing. So I think eventually price will break out of this area. It'll climb higher, establish a new range. And then we can trade within this area up here. Let's check the news again. So the news still hasn't loaded, which is very unusual for medium impact news. I mean, it's all good, whatever. It doesn't matter. We already seen how price reacted to the time of the news right here. News happened at 7 o'clock. We're like at 7:06, 5 minutes past. So now at this point, we're just going to wait. Gotcha, Rashida. Yeah, thanks for checking Forex Factory, though. It's fine, though. I don't really care like how the news comes out because we'll see how the market reacts to it, right? Eventually, it'll probably update, but yeah, it's still not there. It's all good. We already seen how it reacted to it. It kind of just faked out here. So at 7 o'clock, it came up a little bit, came down, came back up, came down, and now it's back up over here. So we do have price pushing up right here. I mean, this could be setting up for a possible high-low scalp. I'm not going to take the high-low scalp by itself, though. I'll be looking for, some sort of confluence. Like if we get price to kind of, so this is what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for it to kind of sit around this area a little bit, have the momentum divergence kind of come down. And then when it comes back up above it, that's where I'll probably maybe be okay with taking the high-low scalp. But I'm looking at the momentum divergence here. I actually want it to retrace down a little bit because I want it to swing down, then come back up, and then I'll catch on to divergence because that's where the momentum's probably going to carry. You can see these candles here aren't very strong. Yeah, Medusa double body, so it'll be a BB3 if it, yeah. Let's see, Daniel said double body on the bottom, double wicks on top. Yeah, it's tricky. There's there's reversal patterns on both sides, double body, double wick, which is pretty much a recipe for a range, right? It's kind of just ranging within this middle area right here. So I mean, so if anything, this could be the consolidation zone, right? Right down the middle. I mean, it looks like it. But again, I will be waiting for the divergence here to shift below and then swing right back up. Lorene's asking if we are trading prop firms. Yeah, I'm trading Apex. I was trading Top Step before, but the copier doesn't work well between the two because Top Step requires you to trade on Arithmetic, which it's kind of weird. It's like a weird setup because they would conflict with each other. So my copier wasn't working with Top Step, so I stopped using Top Step. I was trading with FTMO before. I was funded with FTMO 400K, and obviously they don't accept US clients anymore, so we don't trade with them anymore. It's just Apex now. Apex is my personal account, mainly my personal account, and then that copies over to my Apex accounts. All right, so we're getting the high-low scalp right here. It's not the high-low scalp that I was looking for, but if you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'll look for the retest of it. So maybe for like a high-low scalp V2 or something like that, right? So if it comes up above here, I'll look for it to come back down, retrace, and then push back up. Because I wanted the divergence here, and it looks like it's not even going to close anyways. That's fine. All right, so we're getting the swing back. I'm looking for maybe a couple red candles here. A couple red candles here to get the divergence for bearish. And then once we have that, I'll look for it to swing right back up. And the ATR is down again. Unfortunately, the ATR is getting down. It's pretty much the same thing as yesterday. So if you guys remember yesterday, same situation. We had some movement on open, and then the ATR is pretty much flattened out. And then it picks back up later as we get closer to 8 o'clock. All right, so I'm looking for a couple red candles here. Those red candles will shift the momentum divergence to the downside, which is what we want, what we need. And then once we have that, we'll be looking for a correction back to the upside. All right, perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. So it looks like another fake out to the upside right there. I guess I can draw structure here so you can see the new fake out. So it's pretty much bouncing between the two. I mean, so I would consider this the range, and I would consider this the consolidation. Consolidation is a little different from range because it's a lot tighter, it's smaller. So price is consolidating around this middle area here now, faked out again above. But when price consolidates like this, you can expect a possible breakout to happen, right? So I'm okay with it kind of just sitting down here. And then once I get that momentum divergence back up, then possibly look for the opportunity to take the buy here. So if we get a nice big green candle here, I will be looking to enter the trade. It needs to be a pretty strong green candle because I need the divergence here to be pretty clear. It can't be like going sideways. It needs to be a pretty clear divergence to the upside. So I'll keep watching these candles. You just got to pay attention because the candle can spike up at the very last second. So I will be looking at these candles here. We got 27 seconds left on this candle, so we get a lot of time here. But these markets are very unpredictable. They can be moving slow, and then at the last 5 seconds of the candle, it'll just shoot right back up. So I'm okay with it consolidating like this. I actually like it that it's consolidating because I'm looking for that divergence. Okay, perfect. I actually like this here. So I like this because the divergence here is starting to widen out. right? I want a wide divergence. And then when it swings back up, I'll be looking for that for my entry, because at that point, it's going to show you that price is diverging back into correction to the upside. Because we're expecting price to go up. If you look over here on all the time frames, everything's pretty much bullish. The only problem with this here is that it's a bit overextended here on the 10-minute. And you can see from this candle right here, it's a little overextended, but it can still hold because the 4-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, pretty much all the time frames here are all bullish. So I'm okay with this here actually going sideways for a bit. I'm looking for that breakout candle to the upside. Or not even the breakout candle, but I'm looking for the hint of the breakout. Because this here will hint the breakout, right? If this crosses up, even if it's not even a green candle, odds of it pushing up higher are very likely. But the ATR is getting very, very low. It's now at 12. Sadie said, I need to learn yoga. This market is just, right? It'll keep you calm during when the market's moving super slow like this. So you guys can see the candles are getting really small. This is just telling you that it's preparing for a breakout. Just expect a breakout to happen at some point. Don't take your eyes off the chart, because if you take your eyes off the chart, you just might miss that breakout. Right? I'm still looking for it here. So the divergence here is starting to shift a little bit. Okay, there goes the bigger candle. If this candle closes as a pretty strong green candle, I will take this as a momentum divergence entry. So I'm watching it here. It's got to close pretty high, like decently high. 3, 2, 1, momentum divergence right there. So I'm in it right here for a momentum divergence. So I'll just put a marker right here.
Order submitted.
Make sure everything here is lined up properly. And adjust it slightly here. See, it's at 15. I hate that this thing is hard to move. All right. So let me set. Actually, this isn't a momentum divergence. I got to get out of this position, guys. I just realized that they actually didn't close above it. All right, I screwed up on this position here. Yeah, so because of the low ATR, this over here didn't actually close how it was supposed to. Because it looked like it was above it. That's what I saw when the candle closed, but it actually didn't. It closed below it. So I'm gonna try to get out of this position here. Because it is not a momentum divergence type entry. So let me see if I can swing up over here at break even, get out. All right, it's pushing up right here.
All
right, I got out at break even.
Order filled.
Because I made a mistake on this trade here. The divergence there didn't actually close. And I didn't want to get caught in the movement there. So unfortunately, I got out for break even. It's all good. So I'm taking this off. There was no entry there, guys. The thing is, this candle here, I was expecting it to close up here, and then at the last second, it pulled back down. So I got out for a small profit too, like 38 bucks. It's all good. All right, so now I'm gonna wait for the next opportunity here again. This is a problem when you're looking at these low volatility. The ATR is so low right now that like the candle will just change. Well, not the candle will change, but the momentum divergence here will kind of shift a little bit. because this candle was a full green candle, and at the last second it came down, and that's what caused the divergence here to shift back to the lower end. So we'll just wait for the next opportunity here to come up. There's nothing here yet. And we will keep looking for next trade here, let's see. Yeah, so I got out at break even for most of my trades. On my personal account, here, I'll just take a screenshot of it so you guys can see. I pretty much for gross profits, I got out at break even, but because of the fees with commissions and stuff. And it would have been nice too. So looking at this over here, if I would have just held on to it, obviously would have went straight to TP. Would have been nice. But I made a mistake there because we didn't actually have a momentum divergence. So obviously I had to close out of it, but it would have been nice right there if it did play through. So it's all good. Here is my Discord. Why it always does that? All right. So we are now looking for another opportunity here. There's no opportunities here at the moment. We're kind of just waiting. 720 right now. Okay, so here are my profits on that trade. So you can see over here at my gross realized, you can see my personal account. I locked in 10 bucks because I got out at break even. This account over here locked out at break even as well, but I had to pay commissions on the trade. So I still had to pay 62 bucks over here on commissions, unfortunately. But otherwise, every other account here gave me profit. So my main account gave me 100 bucks. Every other copier account over here gave me 100 bucks as well. But I'd rather get out at break even than have a loss, of course, right? That's the main goal every day is to close out the day in green. Right now, I'm still overall in the green. I mean, decent profit for the day. Nothing nice because nothing actually hit their full TP, but it's still looking okay. So what we need to look for here is we need a retracement. So I need to get a sell signal to push price back down, and that's perfect because we do have it right here. So we need that sell signal to come up, and then when you get the correction back up, we'll start looking for more opportunities there. So you guys can see the huge fake out right here on our clean chart. So we got the big range right here. We have the smaller range right here. We have the consolidation within this area, price pushed up for the breakout like we were waiting for. Unfortunately, didn't fit our criteria for our entry, pushed up here. Faked out. Now it's coming back into the consolidation area down here. So fake out right there, fake out right there, fake outs all over the place. So let's see if this fake out, so there's two things that can happen here. Price will either fake out and it'll pull back into this lower level consolidation, or if it stays above here, it'll probably consolidate over here for a little bit before it decides to make another breakout either direction. The problem with this here is that the breakouts aren't going to be very strong. You guys can see the ATR is too weak right now. It's currently at 12 ATR. It's a lot lower than where we want to be. We want to be at least 15 for there to be some sort of direction and movement. But right now, there's not really much movement as price continues to go sideways. So low ATR here pretty much tells you to expect consolidation. So we'll see if it picks back up. Regardless of the fact, I'm still looking for a sell signal. So I need a sell signal there. That's the main thing I'm looking for. Once we have that sell signal, we can confirm the retracement. Once we have the retracement, we can continue to look for the continuation. That's gonna be the main thing to look for there. So some team profits over here. We got Madhu, total profit of 200 for the day. Nice work, Madhu, all wins. And we got Maddie over here, total profit of 520 for the day, all wins as well. Nice work, Maddie. Rashida said she made 950. That's some coffee money right there. Yeah, Daniel said the sad part is that that's how much we're actually paying for coffee these days, right? It's expensive. Coffee is super expensive. Inflation now is kind of it's crazy. Like people always joke around about inflation, or like even when we were younger, we would joke around about inflation, right? Parents would be tripping about everything getting expensive. And now that we're older and we have to deal with it, the inflation is crazy. I mean, especially for you, Daniel, because you own a restaurant. So, and I'm sure sashimi is not cheap, or like even everything else. I mean, it's not even just that. It's like I think that's like the that's the nice thing about trading is that you don't really have much overhead. Like, yeah, sure, you have to pay for fees for like data and stuff like that. And if you want to do evals, you have to pay for that stuff. But at least you don't have to, you don't get those inflated prices with like supplies and ingredients and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said, yeah, margins are terrible these days compared to 7 years ago. Yeah, any type of brick and mortar business it's tough. It's tough. I mean, even like Albert here, I know Albert has like the sweet shop. Like even that stuff's expensive. Margins used to be crazy for like dessert shops. Now it's like, it's getting kind of tighter. Yeah, Rashida said, yeah, it's crazy. She just sold her house, buying another one. She's like, everything's inflated. Yeah, it's crazy because the interest rates, right? If the interest rates go down, price is going to go up. Interest rates go up, price stays at where it's at. It doesn't go back down. So it doesn't really matter what happens, right? It's like inflation is going to cause everything to go up, whether it be consumer, and that's why I was looking for the news here because the consumer sentiment is like it's inflation news, economic optimism, and it was negative. So the news actually finally came out right here. It was like it came out, I don't know, 20 minutes later. It was negative. So it's just showing that, economic optimism is not good right now. And the people aren't looking like the economy is not looking good, which was expected, right? We're not expecting the economy to look good right now. We're in an inflationary period. Personally, I would rather be in a recessionary period. I would rather be in a recession than inflation period because during a recession, interest rates go down, money is cheap. It doesn't really affect us much because it's just going to cause more volatility in the market. So for me personally, I think as a trader, you'd be better off as a trader during a recession than a trader during inflation because stuff's expensive. During a recession, things kind of, people stop spending money, money becomes cheaper. So like if you make a lot of money, like what happened during COVID, I think COVID was like a big gap, like a big gap happened between wealth. Because like people who had money during COVID, they were able to like buy up a bunch of houses and buy a bunch of property and assets and stuff like that, while like everybody else was struggling. That would kind of fall under like a recessionary period. Now inflation, everybody's kind of struggling. Like the rich is still getting richer, but it's not as easy as it would be during a recessionary period where people are getting scared and selling off things. Nice, Brock. So Brock actually held on to the position earlier. He got a solid 20 points. Yeah, no, definitely, Brock. Glad to see that. I was hoping we get some movement here. We didn't really get much here. There was another momentum divergence that happened, or it just happened, it looks like, on this candle. I wouldn't have taken it though because the volatility is so low, and I typically don't like the second move, like the second divergence. That's why I was looking for the momentum here. And you can see, even if you took the divergence on that, it would barely have tapped your TP. It would still actually, I mean, actually come down a little bit. So again, I'm looking for that sell signal. It's 7:27 right now, so we still have some time here. We have another news event over here at 7:30. It's low impact. New York Fed Treasury purchases, 0 to 1 years. So I don't think that's going to affect the market too much, but we'll see if it's a catalyst to maybe push price down a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Lorraine said, yeah, the rich getting richer and the poor getting poor. Exactly. That's life, right? That's life. So it kind of sucks being in the middle. Like if you're in the middle class, you're not really middle class anymore. If you guys have noticed it, the middle class isn't really the middle class anymore. Like There is no middle class. Middle class is basically poor now at this point because they're barely surviving, right? It's crazy. That's why trading is kind of like the gateway to getting to the next level because it takes you the least amount of time to make maximum profit, basically. And people can do it on the side. Like, for example, here we only trade for about an hour a day. So if you can set aside an hour from like 6:30 to maybe even 7:30, before work, then you can make it possible. Yeah, Daniel said I make decent money and I still feel broke, right? I feel like that's the common thing. That's the common theme for a lot of people. It's like they make all this money, then they pay all this in taxes. So that's the next thing. Like once you guys start making money trading, then you have to learn the tax game. That's kind of how I started in business. I started my businesses, made pretty good money, and then I'd have to pay a bunch in taxes. So you learn the tax game, then you end up not paying any taxes at all, and the money kind of just gets recycled. So yeah, I'll create well, I'm gonna create a module for that in the course at some point. How to trade like a business. Most of you guys here already know, but I'll be more detailed. I'll tell you which banks to sign up for, what to tell them when you sign up, um, stuff like that. Rashida said, "Teach me, I still pay taxes." Well, so at the end of the year this year, that's why I'm waiting to see how much profit I make this year because I'm going to pay off all my debt. And then, I mean, there's a bunch of tax loopholes. Like, I think the biggest loophole that I've used is basically section 179. So, like, if you guys remember, like during COVID, I bought like basically a fully spec like Model X, right? I bought my Tesla. That was under like section 179. So I bought that under my business vehicle. And instead of me paying like 150,000 in taxes, I just got a free car basically. And then I did the same thing again like last year when I got my Porsche. So I bought my Porsche. It was like 220,000. Instead of me paying 220,000 in taxes, it's got another business vehicle, right? That's like one of the bigger chunks. Obviously, there's other chunks like there's other things you can do like the home office, business deduction, food, marketing. Marketing is like one of the biggest things. That's why you see a lot of that's why you see a lot of people or a lot of businesses buying certain things, like buying jewelry, right? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people buy jewelry lately. A lot of people have been buying watches. So a lot of people start these side businesses where they're reselling watches. They'll buy like $100,000 watch, and then they count that as a loss, and then they sell it, and they buy a more expensive watch, and they just keep recycling the money that way. There's a lot of different ways. Like if you guys can get creative, there's so many different ways and these are like they're not traditional write-offs. Obviously, real estate will probably be like the more traditional way to depreciate things. But watches, cars, stuff like that, you can buy it for the business and it'll just depreciate. There's a lot of different loopholes. The tax game is such a great area where like if you just watch what a lot of these like Instagram gurus are doing, a lot of them are buying this stuff, and then a lot of them are doing it like there's a lot of shady ways of doing it too. Like you'll see people open like exotic car dealerships. They're not really making money off those dealerships or car rental businesses. They're not making money off those car rental businesses. They're just like they're using it as a tax haven. Yeah, exactly. Nick said, yeah, Wi-Fi, phone bill, gas, clothing, etc. Like for example, here I could buy clothes and I can write stuff off because I'm on YouTube every day, right? I can get a haircut every day if I want to. I can get a lot of stuff. Like for you, Rashida, I know you run like your own side businesses too. You're on camera a lot, right? So go get your makeup done, go get your nails done, go get all this stuff done. That's all marketing expense. There's a lot of things that you guys can do. It's a great area though, so you have to be able to explain, how is it used for business, but I'm on YouTube every day. I got like 1,000 videos on here. Like, you want me to prove that I'm on video every day? I got so many videos here that I can use to show, like I need to have clothes for the YouTube videos and stuff like that. But they have to be used for the YouTube videos, of course. But since I'm on video every day, pretty much just buy whatever I want and use it for marketing purposes. Yeah, we'll have another Zoom meeting about this later in the future, guys, because I know a lot of stuff about the tax game. Like I'm consistently learning about like well, I mean it's been years since I've been learning about it, and I'm always learning about the new stuff. So Yeah, exactly. Nick said the list is honestly as far as your imagination can take you. There's a there really is. You can like say for example, if if you wanted to send your mom some money, but you wanted to write it off, you could add her as an employee. She could be a calendar employee. She'd be calendaring in appointments, or your assistant. There's a ton of different ways to do it. Yeah, that's kind of how I take care of my family. You could add your family members to your payroll, have them do a little something for you. All right, so ATR is currently at 11, guys. It's pretty dead right now. Market is pretty dead. You guys can see here, it's just going sideways. The sell signal never came up. I was really hoping that sell signal would come up. And again, right there, as soon as I said that, it came up. Perfect. Okay, great. So we have a sell signal here. Seems like they're listening to me at this point. The sell signal came up. We're now looking for the correction back up. I don't really want to take any sells here. I mean, I'll be okay with taking sells, but the problem with the sells here is that if price does come back down, there's going to be a bunch of these red flags over here, right? So I'm not really looking to take any trades down here or down here. So for me personally, I would be okay with it kind of just sitting around this area right here within this consolidation range and then climb back up. So we'll I guess we'll see what happens here next. PRB over there hit full TP, of course, as you guys know. This could be the breakout V3, actually, guys. We have a structure up here, double body rejection. Sell signal, red candle following it. This could be the breakout V3 here, back to opening price. I'm not going to take it, but I'll mark it up for you guys. So there you go. There is the breakout V3 currently running. I don't want to go against the trend, so I wouldn't take it personally. If it was for a buy, a different story. I'd maybe take it, even take it for a partial. But yeah, it's against the trend, so it's not exactly the direction that you want to go. Yeah, exactly. Vimal said, so the UK, yeah, pension is the best in the UK. We have the same thing here too. So if you guys are not familiar with the IRA accounts, right? Every year you can deposit, I think it's 14,000. I can't remember what it is, but I just automatically deposit 14,000 into the account every year. Like I don't know what the max contribution is. It depends on your tax status. So like, for example, someone like me who has a lot of business expenses and doesn't really report much on paper, I can contribute like a pretty good amount. So yeah, if you guys haven't done that, for me personally, what I do is, and let me see, I've only been doing it for a while. I haven't been doing it for like super long. But let me see if I could take a screenshot of this to show you guys. Um, so I want to make sure I don't have any personal info on here. I think we're good. Okay. So yeah, I'll show you guys. Because I'm always doing a lot of things, guys. But my thing is like I'm always looking for different ways to make money, right? If you guys have business ideas, I mean, feel free to shoot. They gotta be real business ideas though. You can't just tell me, oh, I have an idea and I want to make money doing this, and you have no business plan or anything like that. I'm always looking to invest in other people and other stuff like that. I'm always looking for ways to make money. That's typically what I'm doing most of the time. So yeah, here's like I said, if you have open up an IRA account, basically like this will be tax free. So I'm basically every year I'll be depositing like another 14,000. So like say for example, 14,000 times, how old am I? We'll say 50 years from now, right? So I have like 700,000 in there, tax free basically. And then I just buy stocks that I think will go up, like basically stuff in the Dow 30. We trade the Dow, so I'm expecting Dow to always be bullish. And you can see over here, I bought a bunch of stuff here, like Cisco, JP Morgan, Nike, QQQ, which is basically NQ, AT&T for dividends, and Verizon. And you can see over here that I put like basically 21,000 in the account over the past couple of years, and I made a profit of 1,300. So you think about that, you know, if I'm making 10% every year, like for example, I get to 700,000, and then 50 times 10, that's like a 500% gain, so 700,000 times so I'll be like in the millions by then. I don't know if my math is right, but 700,000, I think, times 5. Yeah, so basically if I continue to make 10% per year and I accrue dividends and stuff like that, that retirement account will go up to like 3.5 mil. And that's basically tax-free money that I can kind of just sit on at the end of my lifetime. So, and that's a tax write-off too. So look into that. If you guys are looking for tax havens, you know, look at IRA accounts. If you can do an IRA, a traditional Roth, do like a 401k. You just put money in the account and then you just buy stocks that you think will go up. If you want to buy the Dow, you can buy the Dow too. If you can buy the SPY, so you can see over here, I have like, you know, have my IRA stuff to look at. Like these are the main indexes that I'm kind of looking to buy into and just hold on to long term. Like if you want to trade the Dow or S&P, you just buy the SPY every time it dips. You can see over here, I've marked up levels here. So when price drops to these levels, I'll buy the dip and I'll just write it up. There's Vanguard, QQQ, which is basically, this is what I just bought into. I bought right here and now it pushed up. So obviously I made money on that. So I'm just buying dips on these. All right, so there's still nothing here, guys. I know we're kind of going off topic, but there's just nothing for us to take here. Stuff is still going sideways. So I don't even know if we'll have any entries here. I'll hang on for a little bit longer and I'll see if it picks up. The ATR is extremely low though. So if you look down at the ATR, it's currently at 10. This is really, really low. So I'm not really expecting too much to happen here. Go over here and mark up the upper structure. So this is basically the new range. Price is pulling back into the lower consolidation area down here. I mean, we'll see if the ATR picks up. If it doesn't pick up in the next like 5 minutes or so, I'll probably just wrap it up. I'm still in profit for the day, even though I took those small losses. I hate seeing the red, so I was really hoping that I'd be able to take one more trade. Because I just hate seeing red. I almost never see red on my accounts, right? I'm always up for the most part. Even though I'm in profit for the day, I just hate seeing red. So I was like, okay, I hope I get one more entry so that I can get this all in green. But it is what it is. I mean, if I got to close out at slight profit, but with some red, then, you know, so be it. The good thing is that I didn't lose any trades today. That was a break-even trade. Yeah, exactly. Maria said just add to the equation future kids, which is almost $1 million worth. Yeah, exactly, Maria. 100%. Yeah, I can't wait to have kids. When I have kids, I'm going to open an IRA for them too. Like you guys can see here where I'm depositing like 14,000 a year, or I don't know what it is, 11,000. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, once your kid is old enough, you can deposit them into an ATR too, or not ATR, IRA. The cool thing too is that when you hire your child or family member as an employee, you can actually open a 401k for them, company corporate 401k, and then you can match the contribution. So like you'll open an account for them, they'll put money into it, you match it, and then whatever you match becomes a write-off because it's a business expense. So yeah, once you guys start to make a good amount of money, there's going to be a lot of different loopholes that you guys can run to build tax havens around basically recycling money. So you'll be reporting out like losses to your businesses, but then the money gets sent to like your family member or your employees or whoever it may be. And you basically just get a free tax deduction at that point. So instead of giving money to the government, you're giving money to your significant other, your kid or your mom or your dad or whoever it may be. That's kind of how I take care of my parents. They're on payroll, of course. They do something, but then it becomes a tax deduction. And see, G's asking how's the hedge fund going. I'm still studying for the test. I mean, I'm currently at a roadblock right now. There's a portion of the test that has a lot of this like math that I'm not familiar with, like multiplying and dividing fractions. I don't know how to do that because I never really learned that stuff in college. I did it like in high school, but it's been a long time since I've done that. So I have to like kind of get a refresher on like on math, like with regard to fractions. Because I'm currently like stuck on like US Treasury bonds, just bonds in general, T bonds, Treasury bonds, etc. You have to do a certain math for it. So I'm kind of at a roadblock right now. I'm good overall in the test. I'm still kind of trying to take the test by June. So hopefully I'll be done with the test by like mid-June. And then hopefully by the summer, if not like next fall, I'll be able to start taking money in for the hedge fund. And I'll be trading people's money legally, of course. The whole reason I'm doing this is because I want to do everything legit. I've always been doing things legit from the beginning, very beginning. I've never cut any corners. Because you don't want to end up like any of these other traders out there who are like doing like account management illegally, and then you get caught, and then now you're screwed. And most people who do it illegally aren't even good at trading anyways. Because if they were good, they would just get certified and they just do it the legit way, of course. All right, so there's nothing going on here, guys. As price continues to, go sideways. It's 744 right now. The ATR is still at 10. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it's now at 9. Not really expecting much to happen here. So if you guys have some profits to post up, feel free to send them in. We have some more profits here from Madhu. He's currently at 400 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Madhu. Here are my profits for the day. I'll add them up. Not a crazy day for me here, but it's all good. So 100 times, let's see, 19. Okay, 100 times 19, because one of them is 0 plus 10. So I made 1,910 for the day, which isn't horrible. It could be worse, could be negative. And then for the week so far, I'm currently up. Let's see, 776 times 18 plus 676 plus 976 plus 281. So I'm up 15,000 for the week so far. I only took one trade this week, and then obviously a little mistake there. So for the day, I'm up 15,901. And for the week, no, sorry, that's for the week. And then for the day, profit's profit. I can't complain about making profit today. Just kind of sucks because I was hoping to get another trade today, but it's all good. We got a whole week ahead of us. All right, so there goes my profits for the day. So for the day, I locked in 1,910. You can see over here for my gross profits. And then for the week so far, I'm currently at 15,901. So I still made some profit today. Could be nicer, but it's all good. See, so CJ is asking, were there 713, 725 valid high-low quick scalps? 713. So I would have to actually like see it live. Let me see if I can pull up the criteria for the quick scalps, CJ, because I'm not really familiar with it anymore. I haven't done the quick scalps in a long time. See the bullish direction here. Yeah, technically, I would, yeah, like you'd have to see it when it happens, like real time, because there could have been different lows here. But yeah, if you're just looking at this here, so there's a buy signal right here. Obviously, trend was bullish. You identify the low right here. So this candle right here, as it pushed down and it shot right back up. Yeah, I guess you could consider that a quick scalp. You'd have to see it like real, like I'd have to actually see it when it was happening, because I'm not sure if there was like any other lows here. It looks like there probably wasn't. But yeah, This over here at 712 looks like it would have been a high low quick scalp. And then you said over here at 725. Yeah, same thing here again. Like I would have to see it real time, but because I can't really tell if there was like another low over here. Because if there was a low here, the quick scalp would have happened, somewhere previously. But if that's the case, and this was the only high low at the time, then yeah, this would be some high low quick scalps. I think for me, I only did it for like one momentum signal, but yeah, if you want to do it for multiple or multiple for one momentum signal, that's fine too. I mean, it's just up to preference, of course. All of my strategies here, they're just a guideline. They're not necessarily, you don't have to follow them as is. But yeah, otherwise, looking at that there, it looks like if those were the actual high lows that came up, then it looks like those could have been decent quick scalps. Because whenever the wick showed, you would have bought in and would have shot right up. And then same with this one right here. You have the low. This would have came down a little bit. As soon as you saw the wick, you would have bought in. And it would have shot right back up right here as well. So yeah, definitely. There is a breakout V3 continuation. Looks like it's starting to set up here, but I wouldn't take it because the trend hasn't confirmed. I mean, it's a correction back up. Also, it's right at news price. There's news price right there. The thing with this here is that the trend has not confirmed. So might want to be careful with that. Let's see. Yeah, CJ said I would do one for momentum signal, but I noticed they were back to back. Yeah, no, and I agree too. Sometimes when the momentum signals last very long, this is why the momentum divergence is something that I would personally look for, right? Because if you have a momentum divergence like this, or you have a momentum signal that lasts for a long time, see how price comes up, comes down, comes back up. Like you could have taken one right here for an entry right there. I think that's the one that I took. And then if price came back down right here, you could have taken another one right here, but this one probably would have lost, right? That's why I would have only taken one. But if it was like a momentum signal, I just sat there for a really long time, then in that situation, I would have probably held on to it. Or I would have kept entering more momentum divergences as they come through. Yeah, so actually this was a high-low momentum scalp, Sadie. I didn't even realize that. So we had a lower low right here. We had this buy signal breaking close past pivots 1 and 2. Yeah, but the low ATR would have thrown me off. So that's why I wasn't really even looking for anything here because it's too slow. But yeah, this would be a high low momentum scalp. If you guys remember from our data over here, so I pulled up the data for you guys yesterday. We looked at all the trades that won during May of 2023. It was pretty much liquidity pushes and high low momentum scalps, like literally all of them. So you guys can see here that the entry doesn't come up very often. But when it does, it usually hits. We have a lower low right there, buy signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2, and that would have been a high low momentum scalp. The only thing here that I would be careful for is for one, the news price above, right? So there's a red flag right there. And then also the ATR is super low. So I wouldn't have really messed with it. For me personally, I know for me, I'm a lot more conservative than a lot of you guys. But I mean, yeah, if you feel comfortable taking a position, feel free to take it. Like I said earlier, like the strategies that I'm teaching guys, they're just guidelines, right? They're just guidelines of what I'm doing. For me, I add multiple confluences on top of it. You guys don't have to add those confluences. Some of you guys take confluences away. Some of you guys make adjustments to the strategy. It's just really up to preference, right? If you feel comfortable with a certain position and you want to make a small tweak to my strategies, then so be it. As long as you test it and you understand that it works, then it's great. Find your way to make profit. That's going to be your edge versus everyone else here. Because if everybody's doing the same thing, then it's not always going to play out perfect. So if you find your edge, feel free to make your own changes. Because I've seen a lot of different strategies kind of come up over the years, and there's a lot of different ways to apply these strategies. There's not one way. So it's just up to preference. But all right, guys, I think this is it for today. I don't really see anything else for us to look at. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. The ATR here is not picking up at all. I was hoping it'd pick up a little bit and then I could maybe catch a late entry. But looking at this here, it's just not looking good. Also, price is sitting in between news price right here. So even if I was to get a momentum divergence, I don't think it's one that I would personally take because for one, the ATR is too low. And for two, it's just in red flag area. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat or feel free to reach out to me directly. Otherwise, today just was a slow day in the market, typical market day for us during this week. And hopefully it picks back up tomorrow. We do have some high impact news tomorrow, so I'm expecting some volatility. Actually, I take that back. There's no high impact news tomorrow, but there's high impact news on Thursday. So tomorrow might be another slow day for us. Hopefully we'll be able to grab an entry when the volatility is decently high. And then maybe wrap it up early again and then come back on Thursday for the heavy news. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise,